So first, can I invite Jinan from Lebanon to kick off your introduction first. Then I will ask you a question. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Miho. It's really a pleasure and honor to be here in this great conference. I'm Jinan Karami Shaya, a school principal, Almanar Modern School in Lebanon. I have a PhD in Education for Sustainable Development and a long journey implementing ESD in my teaching practices and in my leadership journey as a principal. And I hope you would really enjoy my presentation. Thank you.
Excellent. Then Gina, let me ask you for your presentation. The focus is really in order to fully implement ESD in your action. What kinds of changes, what kind of transformations do you think are necessary in your current learning environment? And how did you make those changes happen? How did you make the miracle to make it happen? Please.
Thank you. October 2019 was the spark where we faced cumulative inconveniences on different levels in Lebanon. Protests, economic crisis, pandemic, and the worst of all was Beirut explosion. These inconveniences developed learners to feel insecure and lose their confidence with the governance system and the effective implementation of peace and justice. And here comes our question about the most effective education that should be delivered within this context and how we can implement it. Through ESD lens, we set the profile of the active citizen that our country needs to develop sustainably. We should develop an active citizen who is well knowledgeable with a deeper understanding of sustainable norms and values, a critical thinker who can evaluate the context based on sustainable development norms, a good researcher who is able to collect valid and reliable data, an innovator, problem solver, and social entrepreneur who can create sustainable solutions, model them, and have project management skills to implement in real life, and a value-based leader who, through regular self-reflection, evaluation, and the strive for greater self-awareness, can influence others, plan strategically, and do effective partnerships for implementing sustainable solutions and developing awareness campaigns. Having set our vision, the planning for the implementation has started. Curriculum content, although governed by national and international standards, we believe should be shaped by the context. That's why we adopted understanding by design approach to design our unit plans based on happenings to equip learners with all their needs to overcome the current context at different levels, including personal. The unit plans definitely involve inquiry-based e-learning instructional designs with the most effective technologies, problem-oriented performance tasks or projects including STEM, learning activities that deepen students' understandings, uncover perspectives, develop empathy, and reinforce 21st century skills, and authentic action-oriented assessment. That not only do they measure students' knowledge and skills, but also enhance their attitudes through decision-making processes and personal reactions towards the context. Moreover, a genuine entrepreneurship course for secondary classes was developed where students made their own business plans by the end of the year. Consequently, we introduced a multidisciplinary ESD approach where all subject teachers deal with the same context but from their subjects' perspectives. A wellness club was developed for kindergarten students, and many other activities for different classes were done to reinforce social emotional skills and well-being and advocacy. Knowing that the implementation was remotely done and considering that some families with more than one student were using one device, we designed our daily schedule based on research done investigating the availability of devices with the students so that students with siblings will never have online classes at the same time. We made awareness webinars to parents where we invited experts from different fields to guide them in developing daily routines to help them manage their anger and be more resilient. Please, can you move the slide next? During our implementations, we have noticed that our students were not autonomous learners. So we've started coaching sessions with low-achieving students to help them set their goals, to develop and reinforce different executive function skills to master their learning journey. And a few months ago, we started our partnership with an amazing initiative, Transformation Lebanon, where we got introduced to the global priority solutions, values, and the roundtable strategy to reinforce value-based leadership. This simple but grand tool ignites the self-evaluation of daily practices of values of connection, listening, restraint, self-esteem, forgiveness, hope, and compassion. So I created 3 virtual clubs in my school, one for students, one for alumni students, and one for parents. And we are doing weekly 3 to 4 virtual roundtables to reinforce the values within the whole school community. And now, as a result of our school experience, we have started to help other schools in this training, and one of them was a school for special needs students. Having mentioned all this, ESD has shaped all our schools' educational plans and strategies to be more effective and serve the main goal of education, developing an active citizen, and it wasn't at all an extra load. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jinan. Your stories are full of wisdom, and I can see that some of the key pedagogies and approaches found in OECD countries resonate. So from your story that you mentioned that all subject teachers work together and the designed with the student. So now I wonder, these aspects are, how can these aspects be understood and supported by teachers? Capacity. What can you do to support teachers who are afraid of unknown? This is a big challenge OECD countries are facing. So if you can share your insight in your own role, let's take us ecosystem approach ourselves, presenting different perspectives to a common core challenge. So let me first ask a school leader who needs to lead such teachers, what can you do? Or what advice do you have for schools who have these teachers?
Thank you so much for this amazing question. In fact, teachers, they need to feel secure as well. So as a leader, I need to coach them and give them a safe environment for just saying, I don't know. So it's okay to not to know, but it's very important to know how to learn and get trained and work as a self-learner as well, not only for as a trainee from the school leader. So yes, it's very important to support teachers and tell them it's okay, and reinforce the mindset of believing in our students as change agents and as leaders.
Excellent. And Gina, one question from the audience. How do you measure and monitor the success of ESD in a school?
Definitely, this is as well a very important question, because it's just a school is like a small nation. You know, as the governance, we set our policies and we enter the policy into the curriculum and the practices of the teachers. And our aim is the decision-making of the students and their behavior. So when we observe the behavior of the student and their outcomes as projects and mindsets into the assessments, we can tell if we are implementing correctly sustainability. Otherwise, we need to rethink our implementation at different levels. In curriculum, strategies, maybe community service, etc., in order to implement it more.
Excellent. Thank you, Gina. You are a living example of reflective leader. Perfect. Then Asukant, when we said, aha, ecosystem approach, aha, ESD is authentic. So when did it happen to you? So maybe you as a pioneer is more like a pioneer, maybe your own experience, changing your own mindset might be a good hint and implications for those people who want to be a pioneer in their own sphere too. So back to Jinan.
Yes, thank you so much. In fact, they are complementary questions, because the question that is set by the audience, is it a cultural or political issue? In fact, ESD, it involves everything, all issues regarding the students. So, for example, here in Lebanon, when we had protests, we asked our students to come and express their thoughts in school and to do the protest in school as celebrating their rights. So yes, it is a place to express and to reform all the practices that occur in their lives. And with respect to your question, which is very, very important, it is when we ask ourselves why we are teaching, what do we want from our students? If we want him an active citizen, then he needs to have all what he needs from skills, attitudes, knowledge, everything to do the sustainable development in his country and in the world. So that's when we start thinking about it. Thank you.
Excellent. It's a good reminder. So those two questions are actually interrelated closely. Excellent. Then